Hi, everybody. Oh, gee. What a conglomerate of a mess, I guess you'd call it. I'm trying to be nice. I have to watch my mouth somewhere. Maybe not somewhere, but I feel like I should watch it a little bit, what comes out of it. Um, well, I was trying to figure out what to read on. I've been thinking about it the last couple of days. Yesterday was a total waste of time for me because I was glued to the TV, which was silly. I should have just left it and got the highlights later. But I didn't. What I wanted to talk about, why I decided to read today, is when I woke up this morning, I was saying out loud, let me look at it to make sure I get it right. Senate wrecked, Senate wrecked. I was literally saying it out loud, Senate wrecked. And that's what woke me up, was I was talking in my sleep. And a lot of times when I do this, it's not me that's talking, it's Rennick getting through to me. My Egyptian guide that helps me and helped me through most of my life. And he was, and I asked him because I knew immediately it was a message. And I said, Senate wreck. The first thing that popped in my head was like a car wreck. And I thought, well, how can the Senate have a car wreck? And then, and then immediately it was like, you're overthinking this, you're overthinking this. What I saw next was like a crack, um, like in the earth. Where I lived before I moved up here, I lived in the desert, and I lived on the San Andreas Faults, and went through several huge earthquakes. In fact, a 730 something miles from my home about 8 years ago on an Easter, or maybe 10 years ago now, that knocked everything in my house over, all the lamps and everything else I have here, even knocked the glass off the back of the fireplace here. That deal knocked it clear over to the side. It didn't quite go to the floor, but half of it was hanging off because it's all connected together. But so the next thing, I should have, but anyway, I'm gonna get back to that. The next thing that popped into my mind is right out beside my house, because I was so close to that fault. Many times after earthquakes, I would see cracks in the ground about that much, actually about this much, that far, and you could see where it had, would go from one way to the other over the years. I was in that house for 50 years. And that's the next thing that popped into my mind. I thought, well, it's not a car wreck. What's going on? And then all of a sudden, it was like it got dark, then it got bright, and 2/3 of the Senate were Democrats. It's like the whole Senate just flipped, or even more so than flipped, because it was like a huge majority. So that's the next thing that came through to me. So I thought, okay, maybe that's what happened in that hearing yesterday. I don't think it's going to flip right now, but after the next election, I think it's going to be total. I think we're going to have a Democratic House and a Democratic Congress. But Democratic House and Senate. I guess Congress is both of them together. Um, so anyway, the reason I wanted to read, because this crack was instant. It was something that happened yesterday. It was like, hmm, what did they used to say? That's what broke the camel's back, or something like that. The rock or the. But anyway, it was just all the crap they've been putting out, all the stuff. It was like, that's it. And I don't think it meant immediately, but I think it just total turned all the energy. I feel like it just shifted all the energy in Washington. And maybe not even just in Washington, maybe it shifted all the energy with the people that are paying attention now, and the ones that will be paying attention later when they see, that they're not even holding up to the rule of law. But that was it. There was a shifting point yesterday in the last 24 hours, and that's what I'm being told. So I was going to do, I've been going through these cards and concentrating on the Senate while I was shuffling them, and I'm going to do them and see should have wrote some questions out. I was going to, and then I got busy doing something else. If it's going to come out, if this shift is starting right away, maybe with Mueller coming in, I heard a little bit on the news today that they might get him in there next week. I don't know if this shift is coming right away or, I mean, we know that it can't change till the next election as far as it going, but I'm wondering if that wasn't trying to tell me more than that, that maybe some of these, I know I keep saying this and I keep thinking it's going to happen, but it just keeps getting worse, but maybe some of these senators in there haven't really sold their soul totally to Donald Trump. Comey called him in his piece because that's a good description of him, where he just sucks the soul out of people or something like that. Let's see if, I think I'll do this for the month, May, June, and July, for the next 3 months, and see if there's a big shift in the Senate in the next 3 months, and do it across like I've been doing it, because that's an easy read, and see if that doesn't have something to do with it. Do it for May, June, and July. And just do it on the Senate and see if there's any big changes in each of these months. See what's coming up with these cards. Okay, I think that's enough light. Every time I add more, I end up getting glare. So let's try it this way and see if it's enough. Maybe just a little light. So, let me put this on this side. For some reason, it works better when I'm using my right hand. So for May, what's going on? Is there going to be a big shift in the Senate? I don't think so, but maybe. Let's see what happens. Right now, we have the Hermit there. There is some people that are looking pretty deep. I really feel like that is some of the Republicans kind of doing some introspection. They're looking, we're talking about the Senate, so it's mostly Republic. Somebody's looking past all the nonsense. Maybe not all of them, but some of them are looking past the nonsense, and that started yesterday. Some of them didn't even sleep good last night, wondering just how far this has got out of hand, even though they have been joining in and being part of the cheerleading crowd. Some of them didn't even sleep last night because they know that this is so close to a constitutional crisis. Most of them don't really give a damn as long as they get stuck at the trough with the rest of them feeding. But, yeah, there was they are doing some introspection. They're thinking about this. The ones that have any values left at all, they're truly thinking about this. Really thinking about it. This is in May. Nine of Pentacles. Sometimes that's an offer. I don't know what the Republicans could possibly offer the rest of the Republicans, maybe to stay in office, but they're not going to stay in office one way or the other. It shifted yesterday. They're not, that much I know. They're not going to get the Senate. I can tell you that right now, just from that dream. Maybe a little bribery going on there? No, not in our Senate. And some of them, and that's upside down, some of them just feel totally suspended, like they can't go one way. They know they can't go against the rule of law, and at the same time that they're just not ready to give it up. They're just not ready to give it up. But at least they're thinking, they're looking inside, doing a little soul searching, laying awake nights thinking about it, thinking about what they might have to give up money-wise if they ended up losing their jobs. and still in suspension. It's not like they're all flipping over by May, but they're doing some. They're still hung up on the idea. It's like they haven't forgotten. And the next one will be for June. Oh, a lot of news coming in June. A lot of news between now and the 1st of June. A lot of news. A lot of news breaking this month, but by the 1st of June, somebody spilling out like a whole story. Things coming out that people never planned on coming out, some of it. So it looks like we were doing this on the Senate. It looks like they start thinking more about justice, a lot more. And this is just in June, second week of June. They don't want to give it up, since they just don't want to give it up to Nancy. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't end up trying to make her the locker up kid for June. The ones, the old diehards that are still in there, they might change from Hillary Clinton to lock Nancy up. Who knows? But they're not. They just don't want to give it over to her. If they go back to where the House has got the rule of law working with them, well, then they have to give it up. But they're just not quite ready. But they may not have no choice. This may go to court and really quick, depending on however they set this up. And this is in the second week of June. So, and the outcome is finding out about all kinds of family money. All kinds of family money. So do we have to wait till the end of June for the taxes to come out? Maybe they'll see them before then. We may never see them, but it looks like the taxes are coming out in June. And we're going to do one more for July here. Whoa. By July 1st, the Senate is really out in the cold. That means opinion. That means public opinion have even changed more. They're starting to realize that they were hanging on to Trump's coattails thinking that was going to get him elected. And I think they're starting to realize that nothing's going to get him elected again. That everybody's just pretty upset with him. And their strength comes through May, June, July. The second week of July, they start gathering the strength. Looking back at all the money they got put up already. And then a lot more secrets come out at the end of July. And those secrets, I think, we're reading on the Senate. These are secrets on, could be on Trump, it could be on them. But by the end of July, there's just so much stuff uncovered, it's ridiculous. Just totally stuff uncovered. I'm gonna look here. The only thing I want to see is the end here. See the end of July. Maybe what these secrets might be coming up. Deep hidden secrets. Deep secrets from way back in somebody's family. Every time I look at this card, I think of Ivanka and Don Jr. making deals, trying to see who can come out to the best advantage. Ivanka and Don Jr. I'll look it up to the Senate. And it is a disgrace, whatever it is comes out. We're gonna stop there. We know that whole family's a disgrace. So we don't wanna go into that. This was on the Senate. Maybe it's the Senate that's gonna be disgraced. Maybe all the old, gonna realize they're not even using any of the old laws. The men and women, that's because this is usually not man and woman card. That's why I said a lot of times that's Ivanka and her brother arguing. There's going to be a lot of arguments going on, and they're going to feel very, very disgraced. So anyway, that's my reading, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have to look it over and before I put it up and see if I want to put it up. But I probably do. But anyway, remember, if anybody wants a reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. If you want a personal reading from me, we'll do it through over the phone or either FaceTime, where you can see the cards. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe if you like this, because I don't really know how to use the internet that much, so I don't have what they call tags. And hit the bell if you want to be annoyed. Until I'm getting old. That's why I don't hit the bell on none of mine. I don't want any more things going off. But a lot of people are used to all that kind of stuff. So anyway, bye everybody. Have a wonderful weekend if I don't get that to you before the weekend. Bye-bye now.